Hi guys and welcome to Strength Universe. Bill Kazmaier is an American former powerlifter, strongman competitor and professional wrestler who became famous for claiming to be
Yeah, you actually think I'm the strongest man who ever lived.
The strongest man who ever lived?
Yes, I'll make that statement.
But was he? William Kazmaier was born on the 30th of December 1953 in Burlington, Wisconsin. His story starts when he was 12 years old and worked as a labourer for a lumberjack who pushed him to carry and load heavy logs as quickly as possible, and this would be the catalyst for Bill's later work ethic and foundation in strength. At high school, Bill was a star athlete who played football and competed in wrestling, the shot put and the 100-metre dash. After graduating high school, he attended the University of Wisconsin, where he started to lift weights. In fact, his first time in the gym, he was able to deadlift almost 600 pounds and bench press 300 pounds, which he attributed to his earlier job. Kaz played football at Wisconsin for the following 2 years before dropping out to concentrate on lifting weights. At the 1978 AAU National Powerlifting Championships, Kaz achieved a 963 kg or 2,122 pound total. That immediately ranked him in first place in his first ever national level competition and earned him an invite to compete at the 1979 World's Strongest Man, where despite his lack of experience he would win 2 out of the 10 events in the car deadlift and the wheelbarrow carry, to finish his inaugural competition in 3rd place overall, less than 1 point behind 2nd place Lars Hedlund. Bill rounded out the year in November, when he competed at and won his first IPF World Powerlifting Championship, where he achieved a squat of 395 kg, extended his world record in the raw bench press with this lift of 282.5 kilos, and pulled a deadlift of 362.5 kilograms. Kazmaier's domination of the World's Strongest Man would start in 1980, when he finished in the top 2 in 8 out of the 10 events. That included wins in the wheelbarrow carry, the bar bend, the max squat with a weight of 424 kg or 934 pounds, and the silver dollar deadlift, on which he pulled 434 kg or 956 pounds, to win the competition with a lead of 28.5 points over runner-up Lars Hedlund. In February, Bill competed at the Strongbow Strongman contest, where he took 3rd place in the clean and jerk before destroying the competition on the max deadlift with a pull of 380 kg and achieving 17 repetitions on the 55 kg dumbbell press for reps. Later in the year, Bill competed at the World Series of Powerlifting, where despite suffering a serious injury during his 2nd attempt at the squat, he would continue to the bench press, on which he extended his world record to 287.5 kilograms or 634 pounds. 1981 was arguably Bill's strongest year, that started at the West Georgia Open Powerlifting Championship, where he achieved a squat in a single-ply marathon suit of 420 kilograms or 926 pounds. He then extended his raw bench press world record to become the first person in history to press 300 kilograms. And finally, he pulled a deadlift of 380 kilograms to finish the competition with a new all-time record total of 1,100 kilograms or 2,425 pounds. According to Wikipedia, Kaz then competed at and won the 1981 Strongbow Strongman contest, and the reference provided for this comes from an article on strengthfighter.com dated the 16th of January 2013. However, this is incorrect, as the text below the main script actually refers to this photo of Kaz from the previous year's competition, apart from a typo in the year, and this is further corroborated by results shown on Strongman archives. Throughout the majority of his strongman career, Bill stood 6 foot 2.5 inches tall and weighed in the region of 145 kilograms or 320 pounds. Bill's first strongman competition of the year was the 1981 World's Strongest Man, where he won 5 out of the 10 events, setting a world record in the log press of 163 kilograms before later suffering a major tear of the pec during the bar bend event. However, despite this injury, he would continue to set another world record in the max squat, with a weight of 440 kilograms or 969 pounds, in a competition in which he was so dominant that he'd already won his second consecutive title before the final event. He would unfortunately never recover from his pec tear that would have a detrimental effect on his performance, most notably in the bench press, for the rest of his career. Kaz would then compete at the 1981 World Highland Games Championships in Nigeria, where he achieved an unofficial strongman deadlift world record of 415 kilograms or 914.9 pounds that would remain unbeaten for the next 3 decades, until it was broken by Lawrence Charlet, Terry Hollands and Brian Shaw at a Giants Live event in 2011. During an exhibition later in the year, Kaz set an unofficial world record by pressing 71 kg or 156 pound dumbbells for 10 repetitions and 75 kg or 165 pound dumbbells for 5 repetitions. Bill's final world record of the year was set at a powerlifting competition on the 29th of November, where he pulled a raw deadlift of 402 kg or 887 pounds. Following the injuries that he'd suffered at the previous year's competition, Kaz would only compete twice in 1982. First, he competed at the Hawaii Invitational Powerlifting Championship, where due to his pec tear he was only able to bench press 235 kg or 518 pounds, some 22% below his pre-injury world record. Even so, he would take a comfortable win within his weight class. Bill would open the 1982 World's Strongest Man in his typical dominant fashion by winning the first 3 events, in the truck pull, the log press and the 56 pound weight for height, but the effect of his injuries would lead him to only taking 4th place in the bar bend, before he suffered a further injury during the max squat, in which he tore both hamstrings. Despite his injuries, he went on to set a joint world record in the silver dollar deadlift at 478.5 kilograms or 1,055 pounds, but unlike previous years he had to commit to the final event to become only the second man in history to be crowned the world's strongest man 3 times consecutively. Despite being the reigning champion, the organisers of the World's Strongest Man didn't invite Kazmaier back to defend his title for the following 4 years, and while the reasons for this were never confirmed by the organisation, it's considered that it's due to Bill's dominance. While Bill didn't compete in any strongman competitions during 1983, in July he did take part in the USPF Senior National Powerlifting Championships, where he recorded a winning total of 1,042.5 kilograms. While training just 2 weeks before the IPF World Championships, Kaz was benching 600 pounds for 3 reps and doing 900 pounds on the squat for a double like it was a toy, but had an unfortunate accident that resulted in a shoulder injury, and meant that the numbers that he produced at the competition were well below his best. Even so, his 975 kg or 2,149 pound total was good enough to win his second world championship. During his 5 years' absence from competition, he continued to compete in lesser-known strongman tournaments such as the Scottish Power Challenge that he won for 6 years consecutively, and the Leadify Mark 10 International that he would win in 1987, as well as taking part in professional wrestling for the WWF in 1986. Throughout 1988, Kaz competed at several strongman competitions with considerable success, taking wins at the World Muscle Power Championships, the Scottish Power Challenge, Iceland's Strongest Man and the Pure Strength Team Challenge, as well as making his long-awaited return to the World's Strongest Man, where he won 3 out of the 8 events and took second in another 2, setting world records in the cart deadlift at 510 kg and the max log lift at 170 kg or 375 pounds. However, Jean-Paul Sigmarsson was close behind throughout the majority of the competition, making up points on Bill in the loading race and the truck pull, and after 6 out of the 8 events, Kaz was leading the competition by a single point. But what would ultimately cost Bill the competition was the weight over bar event, in which he was the current world record holder at 18 feet 3 inches, but this time he struggled with the technique and finished the event down in 6th place, before getting pipped by John Paul in the final event. Kaz finished the competition in 2nd place overall, 5 points behind winner Jean-Paul Sigmarsson. 1989 would be Bill's penultimate year in strongman, and one in which he would win his 6th Scottish Power Challenge title before finishing in 4th place at the World Muscle Power Championships. He would then take part in his final World's Strongest Man competition on the 20th of August, entering the competition with a torn bicep before suffering a sprained ankle in the very first event, that would severely affect his performance in the majority of the next 7 events and resulted in a 4th place finish overall. 1990 was Bill's final year as a competitive strongman. At his first competition of the year, he would beat Odie Wilson, Magnus Magnuson and Jamie Reeves to win the Hystra Iceland competition. Bill and Odie Wilson then competed as a team for the USA to win the Pure Strength Team Challenge. Bill was then invited to Finland's Strongest Man to compete as a guest, where he wouldn't be eligible to win the title, but did win 5 out of the 6 events and was the overall winner of the competition by a considerable margin. He wouldn't perform as well in his final 2 competitions, placing 4th at the World Muscle Power Championships and 3rd at the World Strongman Challenge. In early October, Kaz spent a week tour in Australia, during which time it's claimed that he broke the log press world record, and on the 13th he became the first person in history to clean and press the 173-pound Thomas Inch dumbbell. He would retire from strongman shortly after before signing with World Championship Wrestling in 1991. As well as Bill's achievements that I've already highlighted in this video, it's worth noting that he became the first man in history to press 300 kg or 661 pounds without specialisation in the bench press, and that his world record was done in a full powerlifting meet that would unofficially stand for 41 years. Bill's raw deadlift world record would stand for 7 years, and his all-time record total of 1,100 kg or 2,425 pounds would remain unbeaten for 23 years. During Bill's career as a professional strongman, he won the title of the World's Strongest Man for 3 years consecutively before being banned. In my opinion, had he been allowed to compete based on the events that followed, he almost certainly would have won the title in 1983 and had a very good chance in 1985 and 86. In the years that followed, Bill would compete in a total of 28 competitions, of which he won 17, for a winning ratio of 61%. During those competitions, Bill would set world records for the log lift and the squat, as well as an unofficial strongman deadlift world record of 415 kg or 915 pounds that was pulled on a stiff bar with straps and would stand until 2011. He would throw a 56-pound weight over an 18-foot 3-inch bar with plenty of clearance, which is only 2 feet behind Hatford's current record, and he would become the first strongman to lift and place all 5 McGlashan stones. At an exhibition in 1981, Bill set a world record by pressing 75 kg or 165 pound dumbbells for 5 repetitions. After being challenged at an exhibition in 1985, he would curl 166 kg or 365 pounds for 2 reps, followed by 182 kg or 400 pounds for a single, which is still an unofficial world record even today. In 1988, he set a world record in the seated overhead press with a lift of 203 kg or 448 pounds for 3 reps. That brings me towards the end of today's video, but after considering all of Bill's feats of strength in powerlifting, strongman, world records and exhibitions, please leave a comment below letting me know whether you think he lives up to the title of the strongest man who ever lived. I've left credits along with social media links in the description below, so please check those out and give me a follow. And finally, if you enjoyed the video, please help to support my channel by smashing like, sharing the video, and if you haven't done so already, by subscribing. Thank you.